Hey everybody, this is Perch, and I got a viewer question here about awards, meaning do they matter? So the mail goes like this: Hey Perch, love your show. Oh, thank you. It's always nice when people say that. I feel like people feel like they have to start the mail off that way, though. A lot of mails start that way, and you don't need to say it. You can say I hate your show. That's okay. But thank you. I do appreciate that. Take a compliment, you asshole. Okay, yes, no problem. Anyway, the mail goes, love your show. Do awards matter in comics? Every now and then, the comic news sites makes a big deal out of the Eisners or the Ringo Awards or these various awards, but none of them really seem to matter. It's not like any of the people that win the awards are actually the top selling creators. It's not like they regularly release the award winners like the Academy does. I think in this case, the person's referring to like movies will say things like best picture nominee or best actor nominee or best actress winner, whatever, when they're doing a movie trailer. And you don't really see that you do in the solicitations, I suppose, but you don't really see it. It's not like they put it up. Do awards matter for comics? Sorry, back to the mail. Do awards matter for comics? Because otherwise, it feels like an honor that nobody really cares about, except for a few people within comics themselves, which either means it's a missed opportunity or why do people do it in the first place? Fair enough. So, do awards matter in comics? It depends on what you mean by that. If you mean from a selling standpoint, do awards sell comics? No, I think it's pretty clear they do not. Even in kind of more of the independent bookstores or the one in Bellevue up here in the Pacific Northwest, there's an Amazon store that always irks me by it. It makes Mrs. Perch really angry every time she sees that because she likes independent stores and she likes small business. And I remember, when we first got married, she had this vendetta against Walmart because Walmart would move into a town and then like decimate the small businesses. And so she's like, she likes to hate Walmart. And then, but I would get into these arguments with her from time to time, like, yeah, but the small businesses are, three times as much, and Walmart's cheaper. It's like, well, of course, Walmart can be cheaper because it's, a big box store, and they can afford to lose money while they crush the competition. Fun, engaging debates at the Perch household. Anyway, but as time has gone on, I've watched her soften toward Walmart, and in many ways now Amazon has taken that. It's the Amazon store, and she's not opposed to the online Amazon, but it's the fact that Amazon has now started to create small, physical stores that really drives her nuts because she's like, they came and they basically wiped out a bunch of small businesses, and especially in the Pacific Northwest here, they targeted a bunch of communities to offer like same day Prime and that kind of stuff. So they really emphasize you can order it from us and you don't have to go out anymore. And then once a bunch of businesses had closed, citing Amazon as a primary reason, then they started opening up, brick and mortar stores. So it felt like this goofy thing. Anyway, so that was a bit of a distraction there. So when I go into that store, they have a lot of what I would call the artsy comics there, the graphic novels that are the ones that tend to be the award winners. But what's funny is they don't sell. Like I go in there every now and then, I'll skip a couple weeks and I'll go into one of these stores, go into the Amazon store. It's the same stuff on the shelf. Like nothing has moved. I remember I was in there once and I'm like, I was picking up I don't know, one of the award winners, and like there's a thin line of dust on it, and it's like nothing. This is here as a prop. It's meant to look artsy, not actually move any comics. Was the conclusion I came to. But a lot of those are award-winning comics, and they don't move, even in a venue where arguably the clientele is going to be more likely to go for it. I don't think I think awards could matter in comics, but the other problem with the Eisners and the Ringo Awards and some of these other awards is that they're given to a lot of comics that nobody has heard from. It's a little bit like the Academy problem, but worse. It's there's been this long running thing of like, why doesn't the Academy Awards, why don't they honor big budget films that make a lot of money? And they slowly started introducing more of those in, but for weird categories like special effects and that kind of stuff. And there's a good reason for it. I mean, if like Transformers 2 is going to be the biggest movie of the year, you may have enjoyed that movie, but nobody watching that movie would call that fine art. It's not an in-depth, engaging plot in that film. It's most of the action sequences look like they took a plastic bag, filled it with water, dumped in a bunch of random metal parts, and then shook it up while filming it really closely. That's what the Michael Bay Transformers films always look like to me. Um, but it so you have a hard time giving that best picture. But even with that, like Hollywood has figured out at least a little bit better, where they have at least some representation from the books everyone's talking about. And comics is too much in like, I'm trying to think of the most polite way to say this. I think the expression is sniffing their own farts. I think is probably the most accurate way to say it, where they give the awards to books nobody has heard of. In many cases, the awards are granted, or at least the things that are nominated because somebody bothered to nominate. And it's generally the little indie books, the tiny obscure books that really had no hope of being profitable, of actually making any money, and they were made to win an award. They were made with the hopes of winning an award. Now, by the way, the people who won awards. I'm not dissing you. Good for you. It's always fun to win an award and all that stuff. But the award system in comics in general is just a bit broken. It doesn't function in a reasonable way that lends itself to actual purchases. It's a little bit like I don't know. I got on some mailing list with this channel where I get emails of like, "Hey, Comics by Perch on YouTube, we love your channel. Your channel is great. We would like to give you. We actually want to honor you with an award for your channel. For $100 for your submission fee, we will give you can have an award, and we'll send you out a little certificate and print you in our magazine of best YouTube channels." The one that cracked me up is one came and it's like top female YouTubers, and it was like you've won an award as one of the top female YouTubers. I'm like, okay, you haven't listened to my channel at all, clearly. Um, there's a major glaring problem with what you're putting out here. But anyway, it is. Look, I don't know. I mean, I've known people from time to time that have gotten excited about awards and bought comics that way, who've said, oh, this is an Eisner book. I should pick that up. But I mean, I could probably count those moments on one hand. It's rare, like insanely rare, and it's because people don't associate winning a comic award with actual quality of the book that got the award. And in many cases, it's because comics, as much as anything, are subjective. Like how are you supposed to give an award to a comic where almost everyone's going to view that comic differently? I know some people. There's definitely things. There's some quantitative quality aspects to comics for sure that you can get into, but by and large, the person who likes the X-Men line, it may be very different from the person who likes the Batman book. Is one better than the other? I mean, it depends on your point of view in a lot of cases, and you could say that's true about everything. But with comics, I think that's more true than movies. I think with movies, there is some structural. I'm like, you can rate costuming and cinematography and script. I mean, there are aspects to those awards where there's legitimate things that you can point out, that are better or worse than other properties. It's not just a random. It's not just completely based on the observer. Anyway, that's my answer. I don't know. That was a long-winded way of saying no. So no is the answer. They don't equate to sales, and I think they could, but it would take a very different industry. It would take people who are willing to really get aware and care about the sales, and it's so hardwired right now into comics that the sales do not matter. I mean, again, a lot of creators, a lot of editors don't know the sales numbers for the books that they're on. They have no idea. And so when you're living in that world and you don't really have a good barometer of what's popular and what isn't, then how are you supposed to do any kind of awards that are based on what actually sells in a book? You can't. It doesn't work. So yeah, I would love to. I think comics would really benefit from a rating or ranking system. I think you can look no further than Wizard back in the 90s, where they would rank comics, and it actually had a real measurable positive effect on sales when they would do that. And I think comics just has nothing like that right now, and in many ways has no desire to have something like that right now, which is a shame. Anyway, maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe you buy all the award books. Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, of course. And thanks for listening.